All right, hello and welcome. So, today is going to be a lot of fun. We're going to be talking about one of the most epic video game comeback stories of all time, and probably the biggest video game comeback story for an outer space game. So, if you're unfamiliar with the game No Man's Sky, stay tuned anyways, because if you're a space enthusiast and you like outer space and you've never heard of this game and you're a gamer, you're definitely going to want to check it out. So, before I get into that, just some quick bookkeeping. So, this week I'm finally going to have my Minor Planets documentary out. So I know I've been teasing it for a while, but I've been chatting with one of the world's leading cometary scientists, and I wanted him to actually peer review it for me, and he did. So even though it's just a YouTube video and not an academic paper, um, so I really took my time on this one, had somebody review it, get it back to me. So I have it all recorded, and I'm editing it now, and it should be out sometime this week. Um, So this one's going to be absolutely jam-packed with knowledge. We're going to be going back in time to the 2006 IAU conference in Prague, and we're going to find out exactly how and why Pluto was reclassified to a dwarf planet. So Pluto was eventually reclassified to a dwarf planet, a brand new category created in 2006. And interestingly, many planetary dynamicists and cometary scientists had already stopped thinking of Pluto as a full-fledged planet years earlier, and they tended to treat it more like a large minor or even a large minor planet or even a giant comet. So, we're going to get all into all of this, and we're going to explicitly explain the difference between major planets, dwarf planets, asteroids, comets, meteoroids, meteors, meteorites, and just a quick spoiler, every single one of those that I just mentioned, except for major planets, are all classified as minor planets. And then just one more thing before I get into No Man's Sky. And by the way, this is the guy I've been chatting with, Daniel Green. He helped me out with the paper. He also wrote this awesome paper here for the International Comet Quarterly called "Is Pluto a Giant Comet?" So just a little bit of foreshadowing for you guys that, like I said, a lot of people, researchers and astronomers and people in the scientific community for a long time have seen Pluto more as a minor planet than related to any of the major planets. So just a little teaser for you there. And one last thing before I get into No Man's Sky, I just wanted to let you all know Maddie Adams is going to be getting an upgrade. So I ordered myself a new gaming PC for higher quality, more detailed simulations. I'm going to be ditching this tinny sounding microphone for some more professional sounding audio. And while I'm at it, I'm going to set my office up better. My family got me a really cool outer space mural, so I'm going to put that behind me for the ambience. So, all right, on to the main event. So, the No Man's Sky story is really one of the wildest redemption arcs in gaming history. It was a hype supernova that imploded into a black hole of backlash, followed by a decade-long grind of free updates, turning it into a thriving legend that is still dominating in February of 2026. So all of the footage that you see here in the background is me playing No Man's Sky last weekend on my PS5, and I streamed it live. I wasn't talking on the audio. I got to get that figured out. PlayStation's apparently a little weird with patching the audio through. So, Part 1, The No Man's Sky Hype Machine, 2013 to 2016. So, picture this. In 2013, a tiny 15-person indie studio in Guildford, United Kingdom called Hello Games drops a tech demo called Hello Games Reality Number 3. Jaws drop at VGX, and this was basically the Spike Game Awards before it was called the Spike Game Awards in 2013. Um, Fast forward to E3 in 2014, and Sean Murray, the Aussie accent wielding visionary, unveils No Man's Sky, this game right here. 18 quintillion procedurally generated planets, each unique, no two the same, infinite possibilities, he says. Land anywhere, scan alien creatures in your discovery log, trade exotic resources in bustling space stations, build massive bases. Yeah, yeah, guys. My name is Brahmo on PS5. So yeah, if you want to add me up on PS5, add me. It's BRAHM-O. Um, yeah, so this was the promise that he had early in 2013. 18 quintillion procedurally generated planets, each unique, no two the same. Infinite possibilities, he says. Land anywhere. Scan alien creatures for your discovery log. Trade exotic resources in bustling space stations. Build massive bases. Fight pirate fleets in seamless dogfights. Hop between star systems without load times. Multiplayer was heavily implied. Trailers showed third person views, shared discoveries, and E3 in 2016 seals the deal. Shows images flying through nebula into their vibrant worlds, harvesting giant plants, riding creatures, and Sean Murray is on stage saying, "This is the game that redefines exploration." Pre-orders explode. The $60 price tag at the time felt like a steal. 2 million copies were sold before launch. The media calls it the Minecraft of outer space. The hype was absolutely nuclear. And I remember because I had a first class ticket with meal service in the front cabin of the hype train. I was anticipating this game for so long. And then, all of a sudden, launch catastrophe. So in August 2016, I want to get back to some planets here. So in August 2016, 2012, or in August 2016, you had 212,000 peak Steam players. And then there was just a big crash. Everybody was super disappointed. The planets were barren, repetitive rock balls with low-res copy-paste trees. Flight was floaty arcade nonsense. The combat was bullet hell spam. No multiplayer at all, just solo. No bases. Trading barely existed. The story was just a vague Atlas path. Metacritic gave it a 71 out of 100, but user scores plummeted to like 3 to 5 out of 10. Steam reviews flooded negative. Refunds, they had over 50,000 refunds in days. Valve added warnings on Steam. In the media, people were saying things like No Man's Lie. There were memes everywhere. Empty planets captioned 18 quintillion ways to be bored. Sean Murray faced death threats, doxing, swatting. Sales tanked. The studio flooded. Like, actually, there was water damage and lost assets. The player count dove from over 212,000 down to less than 5,000. It was gaming's biggest flop. Worse than Anthem or Fallout 76 at launch. Just a terrible launch. Sean ghosts. He completely disappears. Zero tweets for over 400 days. Hello Games goes completely dark. No PR, no excuses, and behind closed doors, relentless patching. They bootstrap from sales. Their tiny team crumbles. The community splits. Diehard fans wait around hoping for a better update, and the haters bail. And like I said, this was 2016 to 2018, so I thought when I was looking back on it, I thought that it was like a year, but yeah, it was like a year and a half that he really disappeared. So part 4, Sparks of Hope. So in 2016 to 2018, we had the Foundation update. That was in November of 2016. So we finally got bases. The Pathfinder update in March 2017 finally added vehicles and permadeath. The Atlas Rises update in August 2017 added real story, portals, and then all of a sudden in July 2018 you had the flip. Full multiplayer co-op up to 8 players, creative mode, freighters, third-person mode, a graphical overhaul. The players spiked 4x to 50k. They're back. And then that takes us to part 5, kind of the golden age of their grind. So they never stopped. Ever since they've kind of revamped and made No Man's Sky into a better game, there have been over 35 major free updates. No microtransactions ever. There's nothing that you can purchase in the game beyond the money that you pay for the game up front, which is amazing. So, I mean, just multiple patches, over 35. I could sit here and name all of them, but in 2021 they added a next gen one that made it 4K and 60 frames per second. In 2022 they added settlements and pirates and freighter battles. In 2023 they added cross save and corrupted worlds and relics and titans. In 2024 they added space stations. They had the World's Part 1 update, which was absolutely amazing. It added really realistic water, clouds, and lush planets. They just had the World's Part 2 update last year in 2025, which added gas giants and ruins. So they've really just been, like I said, over 35 patches. And, like I said, ever since they really screwed up the launch, um, it's really become one of the best outer space games ever. As far as, like I said, it's just a sandbox. So, you'll see back here, you explore around, you have a base, you buy ships and upgrade it. But like I said, the biggest selling point of it is just the exploration. The fact that you're going to be going from solar system to solar system, like you see here. Um, and every system that you land in is going to have new procedurally generated planets. And, that was the biggest selling point to me, what I thought was amazing about it. And like I said, just a game where, you know, they totally screwed up in the beginning. They could have came out and they could have sat there and just said all of these PR things, and they could have came out and really worried about their perception. But instead of doing that, they worried more about just shutting up and focusing on fixing the game and making it a really good game. And that's why it worked. So Part 6 in 2026, their glory days. So now, as of February 2026, they have very positive Steam reviews, 81% overall from 200,000 plus reviews, and they have 89% recent reviews. So it's crushing Starfield and Elite Dangerous as far as the total number of peak players. And I said it worked because there was an indie passion that won over corporate greed. They listened to the feedback instead of coming out and kind of making a bunch of BS excuses and then not fixing it and or pivoting to something simpler. They just went and they were quiet and they fixed it and they just made the game better. And so to me, that's just an amazing story. Um, just a really awesome story. So, all right, I'm going to keep it short this week because I wanted to edit this into a video and I have a lot of editing to do for my Pluto video. So like I said, make sure to check that out when it comes out, and I'll probably be talking about it next week. And I will have my new gaming computer next week, so we're definitely going to be doing some Universe Sandbox simulations. And thanks everybody for joining. I hope you learned something new today. And if you want to waste 12 hours of your day and pretend like the outside world doesn't exist, I would really recommend checking out No Man's Sky. Go fly into a moon inside of some